Hi, everybody. Welcome back to BarTalk. We're here for another episode, and we are here with our good friend, Alana.
That's me.
She's in the house today. She is wildly
Alana's uncomfortable.
No,
it's not uncomfortable. It's just like, why are we talking about me? That's what I'm confused about right now.
She's like, and why in fact am I on this podcast?
Just like, if you guys can find something important I'm talking about, we can talk about it.
Yeah, it's okay. We just ran out of guests, but
That's what I figured. I was like, fine.
No, not true.
We just got back from Georgia. It was a good time. We're not going to talk about it because
Abigail wants
secret
that
thing.
stuff on like Fight Club level. Like, we can't talk about it.
No, I just can't describe the level of like inside jokes / fun /
Like
revitalization that occurred.
all we
on
could
that
say
trip.
is that we belly laugh. I belly laughed so hard I pissed myself at one point.
Yes,
And that's all you need.
I thought
to
it was
know.
dead at
and
one point.
and we drowned in the hot tub 3 to 5 times per day.
Like, I thought somebody killed me, and I was just like chilling in this Airbnb. That's what I thought.
We had
It was a good time.
we really needed to go on this trip.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We feel good now.
We didn't need to come back from this trip. That's the thing.
I know. There was that one point, and I said this to Barry today because Barry was like, just tell me one thing about the trip. Because I told him the same thing. I was like, I can't tell you everything. He's like, well, tell me one thing. I said, okay, well, on Saturday, we all went to go get coffee, and we all sat in silence for about 5 minutes. And me and Abigail just looked at each other, and I was like, so are we going to stay an extra night? And then you came up, and what did she say?
I said, Alana, do you have class on Monday? And Alana said, I can miss.
I said, we don't need to go home. We don't.
There was no, like, yes, I have class. No, I don't have class. She goes, I don't need to go.
It wasn't even like we're thinking about staying an extra day, Alana, because I was like, in the bathroom. And I was like, we don't have to go home. Simply no.
Like, we
Let's
don't.
just stay.
don't.
Turns out, though, today is Monday, and we are...
And I have cried like twice today, just in case anyone was wondering. So
You've cried twice?
don't worry about it. It was when Tracy posted that stupid reel. I was like,
You cried? Oh, wow.
yeah.
And she goes, you sent me into a midday crisis. And I was like, oh,
It was like 2 p.m. and I was sobbing in my car next to you.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus. Okay. I was with my
my
client,
God.
and we watched it together, and I was like, wow, Tracy's skills. Okay,
Yeah.
so...
It was a great time, though. We needed it.
Oh,
We
it
will
was
be
awesome.
back to Blue Ridge
Next week.
like literally next week in LJ. See you soon. See you soon. But yeah, it was awesome. So we're back. We're here. And Alana is with us because Alana is doing all new things.
Pretty much everything.
Pretty much
is new.
everything that she's been doing for the last year is all new.
Yeah.
So we're going to put
And
her on the
I'm-
spot and talk about it.
Yeah, I think that this period of your life has been quite transformative.
That's
Hell
a good word
yeah.
A
for it.
lot of new
Mhm.
things, new
Mhm.
beginnings. You have started with the OCR crew.
Mhm.
You've been doing a sport for an extended period of time, which you'd never done before.
Mhm.
You
Personal training.
are in college. You started personal training.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of new, not so good things happen and transpire in your personal life, and so we're gonna dig deep into those things. And actually, I relate to this as well because I had a lot of new things happen within the past year or two as well, where it's like you're just a beginner at so many things, and it's quite fresh. Like, it's exciting, and it's also the frustration that goes along with that, being a beginner at legitimately everything that's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you are a master at absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's weird because I think mindset coming out of high school was like, so like, oh, I'm so ready for this. Like, college is just going to be this like freaking dream. I'm going to kill it. I knew the major I was doing going in. And again, I just had such like I got this. I've been preparing for this for like 4 years. Like, I knew exactly what I was trying to do. And then literally within like the summer before college, I just kind of felt that it was not going to go how I expected it to. And I didn't even know what that meant at the time. But I just remember like 3 months in, like I had started to Elevate, which was my first kind of attempt at really doing something a little bit more consistent with exercise and kind of trying to find, enjoyment in it, because I've had like a really big change in that as well. Or probably the most significant change I've had has been with my relationship with exercise and food and all of that within the past year. But yeah, I just remember like the first semester of college, I was like, what in the world? Like, I had a 180, like, just didn't know what the frick was going on. And that came with some like depression, I would say, because I was just so like thrown off, you know, because again, I started literally since like middle school thinking I was pre-med. I was, you know, gonna do this interdisciplinary medical sciences major. I was gonna start exercising and, you know, volunteering at a hospital, and pretty much none of that's happening. So,
except for exercise.
Except
for exercise.
That's the most, you know, significant thing. So
yeah,
it's been a lot different than I thought it would be.
It's been really cool for me too, because I was an Elevate coach. Like, you were in my class.
Tracy was my Elevate.
Yeah, and now you're her hybrid coach.
Yeah, and now I'm her hybrid coach. So it's been like this weird, crazy full circle of like I've seen every single change that you've done this year. Literally from the moment of you coming into Elevate being like, you're fucking crazy, but I'm going to stay. And I was like, cool.
I feel like people who've picked up a 40-pound dead ball will know how significant this is. But I remember the first Elevate class I ever did was like 5 p.m. strength class. That means something to some people. It doesn't mean something to other people. I'll just say a 5 p.m. strength class. Next morning, I decided I was going to be doing the 6 a.m. before class every day. And that just so happened to be Barry and Tracy. And I unfortunately tried Tracy's Friday class, which, if you don't know what that is athletic conditioning. And I was extremely athletic deconditioned. So
at the time,
this
not
bitch
now, at the
had
time,
me picking up the 40-pound dead ball 5 times, throwing it over his shoulder. I'm like behind the Cybex, pretty much out of sight from like most of the people in the room. And I go to pick this thing up and throw it on my shoulder. And I was like, you got me effed up if I'm throwing this thing over my shoulder 5 times right now. And it's just crazy. I think about that pretty much every time we do dead balls, and I'm just like slinging the freaking 40-pound.
Yeah, now you're just like throwing it like
it's
just
insane. Like that's probably one of the biggest like day one differences I've seen, and I think about all the time, because I was just like, you know, I can't even freaking pick this thing up right now. And it was the biggest struggle, and like one of those moments where you have to catch yourself and be like, am I about to walk out this room right now, or am I just gonna say screw it and then like come back tomorrow?
No,
and, like,
you stayed, man.
That was one of the first thoughts I had, where I was like, am I really doing this? And I just kind of felt myself like time after time being like, I'm in, man.
Yeah, I think you were in Elevate for literally like 2 months, and then it was some short period of time.
Like less than, it was like 6 months. It was 6 to 9 months. It was like something like that.
Something like that. But you were in this position where like you were in Elevate, and we were just starting to do like our runs on the weekend. And I remember you showing up, and you were like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm gonna come.
No,
and I was like, okay.
I still will try to be like, what in my 18-year-old brain was like, I'm about to go run with this crazy bitch and Barry and these people that I don't even know for no reason at all. Like the first run, it was like 30 degrees and raining.
Yeah, we were out on the Greenway.
And it's 10 p.m. and I'm like, I think I'm just gonna go. I was like, I'm just gonna go. I didn't even really want to start running. That's the thing. Like I wasn't like, my yearly goal wasn't, oh, I'm gonna run a 5K or this or that. I was just like, I think I really need to be around these people, because like they have what I don't.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't know anybody.
No,
there was
like,
nobody in this group, by the way, that like, she knew personally.
I did not even know Denise's name, which Denise is one of the OGs, until we started OCR. Yeah. I did not know Denise's name, and I was in Elevate for like 6 months. I didn't know any of these people, even though I'd been seeing them every day. I didn't know jack about Tracy, besides that she was a Marine wife and she was crazy as crap. I was scared of her.
Facts.
Keep her real with y'all. And then I just remember like the night before the run, it was raining. Y'all were like, I think we're doing it. And I was like, okay. So I literally drove my butt to Academy at 10 p.m. and got like a rain jacket and a thermal. And I was like, okay, we're doing this. And then I remember I was like, okay, I feel like I really want to say this right now. People think that like doing new things, and I think this can kind of help branch into what Abigail wanted to talk about, is just like the outcome is what happens. But for me, like what I remember is like, I mean, I don't have like crippling anxiety, but I've always had like an anxious brain. And so like, I think what's really important to kind of frame this conversation is like, I was driving to this run, like literally shaking, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I can't keep up. I'm really like, I was not a runner. Like I'm literally shaking from anxiety about to show up to this run. 30 degrees, raining, but in my brain, like I just remembered being like, you don't have an option, like we're getting this done, you know. They have what you need, and like just commit. And so I don't know, it's just, I just really want to frame, I think, the conversation starting off with that, because it's like, again, people just, there's a lot that's happened and a lot that's been accomplished, a lot that I want to still accomplish, but like I started shaking in my car driving to the Miccosukee Greenway because I was scared. So it's like, I don't know.
Well, you were saying before this that you could never really stick to a sport.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it about this that you were shaking in your car and you definitively decided, I'm going to do something different, and then stick with it? What do you think was the difference? Do you think it was just you? Do you think it was something going on in your life? Do you think it was the crew? Do you think it was maybe all of the above? Because I think that would be helpful too for people listening, because you know, there are people that have gotten to that place where they're like they're in that car, you know, driving, and a lot of them end up turning around.
Yeah.
You know, so what is it that was like, we're going, and then we're going to keep going?
No, I think there's like a couple distinct moments in my life where I just have a thought, and that's the thought that kind of changes everything for me. And so it's hard because I want to be able to like, I think that's a reason I started training, because I want to kind of be able to help pull those thoughts out of people. Like those distinct, like, okay, I'm in thoughts. But I remember I was about to graduate. I think graduating high school was a really pivotal point for me, because I was a very different person. And in the sense where I didn't really put myself out there very much. Again, I didn't really commit to any sports. I didn't really do anything outside of my comfort zone. I mean, I wasn't a horrible person, I would hope. I had friends, just like nothing. I did nothing outside of my comfort zone. Right. Anything I was a quitter. I would just be like, nope, not doing that. So I remember I was like driving in my car one day, kind of, you know, graduation's coming, or maybe it was after graduation, just, you know, I'm gearing down for a big change. And again, I'd been hyping up college in my mind for 4 years, and all these things, you know, just kind of shifting. If you've graduated high school, you know that it's just a really weird transition. And so I remember I was sitting in my car. Again, a lot of my thoughts, I think, happened in my car. And I just thought, I was like, this is not the best it gets for me. I was like, this can't be where, you know, I peak. And a lot of people maybe think that's stupid, because I'm still very young, and also high school's a very young age to think those thoughts. But I just remember thinking about people I know, and, you know, where I've seen their like lives go, and just kind of really trying to envision what I wanted for my life, because there's just so many options. And the biggest thought for me, I think, that kind of helped lead me to a place where I was ready to commit and ready to say, okay, even because I have so much anxiety, like, I'm still going to drive to this place and do this run with these people. I think it really came out of that place in me where I was just like, this is not where I settle. This is not where I end my story. Like, I want change. I think a big part of me, like, just really wanted change. And that's why I think I am really grateful to have just come across the team, come across Tracy, Barry, everyone just kind of willing to, all of the things fell so into place. Like, I really can't even explain how, like, mind-blowing it is to me, like, how perfect timing all of this happened for me, because I was having these thoughts and gearing down to make some sort of change. And a big part of it was, like, I was looking into CrossFit. I was looking into different program options, something that would help keep me accountable and push me to a level of some sort of athleticism. And I kind of liked CrossFit, but I was going to Momentum just, you know, as a member. And I was there. I liked the environment. I just didn't really know anyone. And so I think the first step was, like, I looked into Elevate and just kind of decided on that because it was the most obvious choice for me. I really never even looked into any of the classes. I was just kind of like, hey, Cameron, sign me up, you know? So I think it really came from that place of, hey, like, this is not where I settle. This is not where I, you know, end my story. Like, one of my biggest fears is, like, going back or, you know, being stagnant. So I think it came from that place.
That's awesome.
Sorry, bro. I'm a talker. I'll ramble.
No, it's fine. This is your podcast, girl.
We're here interviewing you.
But I always admire the fact that, like, it takes a really special type of person to always consistently wanting to be getting outside of their comfort zone. And, like, it's not that everything, like, fell into place. It's that you always have an open mind about wanting to push yourself. Like, even with everything that we've ever done in class, or, like, we're literally doing a 35-mile run in Fayetteville. It was like no questions asked. I was like, hey, I think I'm going to do the ultra this year. And she's like, bet.
Well,
like,
so here's
just started running this past year. Like, just started this sport last year. Literally, we were watching a video last week of you at the Atlanta race, which would be a full year. She's like, I have no business being out there.
No.
What the fuck was I doing?
I'm out here by myself, freaking double braids, looking like a stupid, like.
Which she did not look dumb, but she was just
I'm telling you, I looked so dumb.
She's like, her spear throat was like the craziest thing you'll ever see.
Laughable thing ever. And again, I'm excited to get back out there and just see like maybe new clips and hopefully I look a little bit more athletic.
Which you will. But literally, like, no questions asked. She's like, oh, 35 miler? Bet.
But you can tell, like, I was having fun, and that's a big part of it. Like, it's just fun out there, and like you just feel like it's just fun. And so it has been worth it, and I'm glad I like looked stupid out there, but no, I'm telling you, like, it's I don't know those videos. If you can put a clip in, or I don't even know, like, just ask me to show you the video if you see me, because it's like you need to see this.
What is speaking of like you just you reflecting on when you very, very first started though, what would you say are some of the biggest frustrations about being a beginner in a sport like you're in? Because I feel like a beginner in jiu-jitsu, because 2 years in jiu-jitsu is absolutely fucking nothing. And there are a lot of days where I personally will leave, like, I'll leave crying. Like, I leave and I'm just like, I'll never fucking be good at this shit. I fucking suck. My whole body hurts. I'm rolling with these freaking fast dudes. And if they're not fat, they feel fat when they're sitting on top of me, bro. Like, submitting my, and so, and obviously there are the good moments too where you get something new, you land a submission, or if you like have a really good, obstacle course race or whatever. But like, what would you say are some of the most frustrating parts to being a beginner, even though you're not totally beginner, like just starting out in this sport?
I think frustrating for me is whenever I, want to be giving it my all, but I just feel like I'm not. Or I
like
get,
in
I
what
get,
way? Like in competition or like in your training?
Class. I mean, so the biggest part of all of this for me is the training, because that's where I think it really gets like competition for me. I've never been a big competitive soul. I think I'm actually trying to work on being more competitive, because I think that's how you
this year. I could see
I'm
it.
trying, bro.
I can see the gears turning already this year.
I was like pushing the tank, and Rich was like, I'm not gonna say he was moving slow, but I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get him. And I caught up to him. He was like, Alana, you're trying to like catch up to me there. He was like, I felt like you were trying to catch me there, and I was like, I was. I fully was.
Yeah, I was.
Get you, man. No, I think it's just whenever I want to be producing a certain outcome, or I feel like I'm not making any progress. Like, a big thing for me, like my upper body needs so much work. My grip strength needs so much work. So I think it's whenever I don't see, progress every time I show up. But I honestly have a really hard time. I don't ever get mad at myself because of where I've come from. I think, I've started from, again, trying to throw a 40-pound dead ball over my shoulder and not being so hard. So I think it's having those moments where I've just had like so much progress. Like, I'm just constantly every day showing up and doing more than I ever thought I would. Because again, I didn't really know what all of this had to offer me. I didn't know if I'd be doing it for any more than 6 months, like all of the other sports I tried. So I don't get frustrated very often, just because of those moments. Like, but I think honestly, like, imposter syndrome has been one of the which it's that sounds so stupid to me, because I'm just like, oh, I'm just out here doing sprint races. But like, I've had a lot of imposter syndrome in the big changes and like the big environments I've had change in, just because I'm trying to keep up with myself. I feel like I feel like I have these internal navigators and also just like external navigators.
Big goals for yourself.
And I just never really thought I'd be setting those types of goals for myself. So I think trying to find an exact answer for this question.
Somebody had something very interesting to say about imposter syndrome on a podcast one time, because I was relating to it as well, where I felt just like I didn't belong in some of the areas I was doing to the degree to which I was in those areas, like I didn't feel like I was elevating so quickly, and I was like, oh my God, this is like, I don't belong here. And the person on the podcast was like, yeah, you don't. When I was kind of like, fair enough, he's like,
you're right, man.
You don't. But the thing is, he's like, you don't. That's why you get there. You don't fucking belong. You continue to work. You earn that fucking spot. And I listened to that and I was like, wow, this motherfucker's got a point. Because because it is like, I don't belong there. That's why I feel so uncomfortable, you know, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you're not necessarily supposed to feel comfortable. You might, because the thing is you earn that low level rank, you know?
Yeah.
And then you earn, you know, like, so now you're in this bigger pool, but you're at the bottom of the food chain there.
Yeah.
Even if you're where you're supposed to be, it should still feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It means you're doing the right ways. It means you're still pushing yourself.
Fighting just like those every day, like, what am I doing here? Why am I trying to freaking get across these monkey bars faster right now? Like, just those moments where I don't want to be giving my all.
That's the most frustrating for you.
Yeah, because my biggest goal for this year, because Barry was trying to get me to kind of write out a list of exact, like, oh, make a podium in this race, oh, do that, and like, that's I want to make a podium, I do, but it's just not it's not the thing that gets me up in the morning. It is kind of having new moments where I'm like, dang, I didn't think I could do that.
Like, I think,
holy crap, you
like,
know?
I've noticed that for you and maybe just for other people, it's not necessarily about like podiuming or like being the best in the group. It's like you are consistently saying, okay, that run was awesome, so I feel great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we talked about this the other day where it's like we could all be on a trail run and Alana used to try to like catch up to all of us and then you would burn out and you're learning as you're going, which
Real
is good.
quick, got stopped.
Yeah, but it's also like, okay, so if you have to trail behind just a little bit, which first of all, she's not very far behind us at all, but she knew that she couldn't keep up, and then that would make you mad because then you would feel gas and that's not your best run.
Yeah.
And now like you being smarter about it and having a really good 14-mile run on a freaking Thursday morning, you know, like you're done that run, and you weren't the first one done, but you had the best run of the week.
Yeah,
and so it makes you happy, you know. So
that's so interesting because I'm the total opposite. I'm like competitive as fuck. Like,
See, I'm like
everybody's competitive nature's different.
I'm like go to the fucking red line every time. Like, that's how I am, because I'm like, I want to win. I want to fucking beat you. I don't care if I throw up and pass out and lose a lung and die. I fucking won. And like you play honestly smarter, because
she's
like,
so much smarter.
I have to realize it's like you have to think about the long game, which is like the competition. No, legit, because at the end of the day, you would like watch me dead on the floor and you'd be like, okay, like the race isn't for another month. Like, what are you doing? You know, and I'd be like, I won this 14 rounds.
Yeah. Which doesn't even make any difference. Dude, like freaking Rich did that the other day. Like, that was a perfect example. Rich, Barry, and this girl Brittany ran the other day. And they ran like a 7-miler. And Brittany and Barry are fast as fuck. Yeah. And Brittany wanted a tempo day. So Brittany asked Barry to run. So Brittany and Barry ran at fucking tempo. And Rich cannot keep up. And so Rich went out and he was like, I'm going to be fast as fuck, boy. And literally it's taken him 3 days to recover. And I was like, by the way, that is dumb.
So name dropping, Brittany and Barry do OCR.
Yeah.
Ridge is a part of the group that does OCR. Barry's the one that runs it with Tracy. Ridge is one of the team members.
Ridge is going to listen to this too, but he knows he reads lines. We talk about this all the time.
Well, it's a competitive thing.
Everybody's competitive nature is different.
It's an ego thing. It's like an ego thing. And I that's why jiu-jitsu's been so good for me, because I've gotten a lot better now at being like, I don't care about, like, I've learned to say no to rolls, because I used to have such an ego. It was like, I can fucking roll with anyone and everyone, and I'm gonna roll hard as shit, and I'm gonna try to beat them. And now it's like, okay, I need to work on these techniques. Like, I'm not gonna roll with this person because, like, they just they see red when they roll. Yeah. Like, I don't need to be getting hurt right now. And, you know, so, and it, like, it's a test to me, because, and also I get my ass kicked all the time, so that's an ego check. But it's a test to me to be like, hey, you have to think long term about what you're doing. So that's interesting that you already are doing that. It's like, that's a great quality to have. Well, it's a great quality to have, because it's you're seeing the end goal, which is like, I'm going to enjoy the day-to-day progress that I make, and I'm going to do it with the end goal in mind, which is innately more progress.
Yeah. And I think that honestly could be one of the harder parts about being a beginner, is that every single workout is an ego check, because you're that just like, what am I doing right now? Like, this is not what my body is able to do.
You're so like,
it's honestly sucks. It's fighting past every single ego check. Like, you are not, because it's just whenever you can't do something that you look over and see someone who's been doing this for a while
so easy,
doing with ease, you're just like, oh my god, I'm such a loser. Wow, I am literally what am I doing? So it's fighting past just all the negative thoughts that being a beginner brings you. Like, I don't belong. Nobody, thinks I'm good enough here. All those just negative thoughts. Like, there's endless ones that you can have, and I think it's just deciding that I'm not gonna let those stop me from what I want to do. Even
so, so at what point, like, did you decide that even if you were a beginner in the sport that you were doing and just sports in general, that you went from wanting to go and like get your doctorates to like trying to be in a sport and now be a trainer?
So that's also something like being a trainer, like that's something I'm still just really trying to I mean, I know I want to be a trainer, and it's because I like this year blew my mind for just so many different reasons. And this is why I feel like I'm trying to keep up with myself, and I feel like imposter syndrome really applies to where I'm at in life right now, because I told you out of my own mouth, hey, I think I want to get personal trainer certified.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what? Why did I say that? I mean it. Like, I really do want to be a trainer, but it's like, you know, when I say that, I'm like, hold on. Me? Why? Like, what am I doing?
You feel like you
for?
just started? Like, you still feel like a beginner?
Oh my God. Like, it's
Get fucking used to it,
boy. Get used to it, literally.
Like,
it
literally, like, I would just be like, okay. I mean, honestly, I keep it real, like, even today, going around trying to just, like, being in a freaking development meeting, trying to figure out more, like, I just am constantly being like, okay, you want this, you're gonna do this, because, you know, I know why. I can stay here for 40 minutes and tell you why I want to be a trainer, because there's probably more people out there like me than out there like you guys, you know, more people out there being like, I have no business walking up in that gym right now. Nobody in there is going to think I'm competent enough to be here. But for some reason, by the grace of the Lord, I kept showing up. Like, I honestly, like, I have reasons why I kept showing up, but I really am just like, what business did I have keep showing up, you know? And I think that is why I just can never express how grateful I am for Tracy and Barry, and literally just like the way they set up in an environment where it's like, no matter what happened in my life, I wanted to keep showing up.
You're
a
good
like,
coach.
Yeah. And it's just like, that has like 100% to do with it, honestly, you know, because I think a big reason too is I battled for a good few years after deciding, hey, I think I want to improve my health. And I think I want to maybe be able to walk up the stairs without breathing super heavy, you know, and deciding, okay, I think I need to improve myself because I'm young. I have no excuses. And then getting into the depths of social media and how disgusting all of that can be, in the sense where no one knows what they're talking about on social media unless they're a literally certified personal trainer or a doctor or a physical therapist.
They still don't even know.
They still don't know, because they just, again, that's a whole other episode. You guys need to make an episode on that, please, because I can't. It's just ridiculous how much people, they just want to they just want to this, or they want to give you a quick way. Like, I probably tried a million different quick fixes. And I swear to God, I'm going to kill Chloe Ting if I see her. Because listen, over COVID, there's just all these different, like,
the Chloe Ting
5-minute ab workouts and like get shredded in 10 days. And my dumb ass convinced that's gonna work. I literally was like, in my brain,
I mean, it is convincing. Let's be real.
If I can wake up and do a 10-minute ab video that's gonna make me want to shoot myself in the brain after 30 seconds, I will be fit as crap in 10 days. Like, I genuinely thought that. And so I would try it 3 days in, be like, I hate this, not do it, hate myself, and then be like, well, looks like it's never gonna happen. Be depressed for 4 weeks, try a smoothie cleanse. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, these are things that I was like, oh my God, this person is telling me that's what they do. That's not what they freaking do. They film that video for 10 minutes and they go do an actual workout and eat healthy, and then they're actually shredded, or they're not, and they have a horrible relationship with everything. It's disgusting because they're liars. And it's like, I was lied to for a long time because I was just trying to avoid actually getting outside of my comfort zone in my bedroom and my kitchen and going to the freaking gym. And so it's like, I think the biggest reason I wanted to be a trainer is because I was like, if I can be a person who can be like, hey, I got you, dude. Like, we'll figure it out together. You just gotta commit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, that feels really meaningful to me, even if like I didn't really know how it was gonna play into my bigger picture, because I still like, Dad, if you're listening to this, I still kind of do want to go to medical school, but I just don't know. Like, there's a lot of things where it's like, I I really do want to go to
But you're so
grad
early
school,
in it, though.
but
that
it's
you
like
could always do
you'll
it.
know when the time's right.
you know
right
what I'm
now.
saying. I would rather
You'll know when you have to apply to med school and you say just the application process is absolutely fucking absurd and I will not be
And
doing
the application
that.
process
And
costs
you do-
$800.
And you'll do exactly what I did, and you'll say, "Fucking no, I will be poor, and I will continue personal training." Come on, Amy Nation, let's go. Give me 20 squats. Let's fucking go, baby girl. You can't. She's like, you can't fire me. I'm like, no, you can't fire me because you're my only client right now, and I'm not going to med school.
Yeah. And you're rich and you pay me.
And then I graduated college, and I was like, more clients.
this is getting real,
dude. I'm
no,
gonna finish
it's stuff like that. It's like I would.
What makes you feel nervous about personal training? What makes you feel uncomfortable? What makes you feel? She's like, what doesn't?
What doesn't? It's just like I don't know. This can open a whole other body image can of worms and all that.
I love talking about that
because I relate to that.
I have a lot of issues.
It's like, okay, I don't.
Everybody's got a lot of
Honestly, y'all, body dysmorphia is real. I have no idea.
Tracy's like, Abigail, you are not special, bitch. I am also in a psychosis. Don't fucking think you're cool.
We just spent a whole fucking weekend of us being like, oh my God, we suck. And we're like, oh my God, you're hot as shit. You're like, no.
I love how she was just like, no. We had a competition of who just had more issues. She's like, you're not fucking special. I belong in an institution, Abigail. Shut the fuck up.
I belong on medications, bitch.
Okay,
yeah.
you win that, actually.
I know I do. Thank you very much.
Anyways, back to Alana.
No, you guys, that's so funny. No, it's like
Jesus Christ.
I'm like crying
What
right
just happened?
they just had a fight.
Did we just fight over you were psychotic?
Mentally ill.
Don't make me belly laugh. I'm gonna piss myself again.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll have proof of that.
Right.
Let me
Yeah, of course you have issues, Abigail.
Stop being selfish. Okay,
I didn't mean for it to come out that way. But while we're at it,
Are you
I fucking meant it.
Are you resentful of me? Do we need to talk? Do we need to hug?
No, I just want to let you know.
Tracy needs help too.
We're the same.
Tracy's like,
So
I am more insane than you. Okay.
But honestly.
Anyways, Alana, what were we talking about?
Why being a trainer is scary.
Oh yeah, and then body dysmorphia.
Yeah, man, it's like if we're being real, like it's a little bit intimidating. Where you're like, okay, I don't even know if I even look like a trainer, dude.
oh my
Why would
God.
And that's why I'm saying.
Don't say that.
I'm telling you, it's scary. It is, and it's like. There's that, and then there's also just the idea of, like, you know, momentum is freaking cool, and the fact that there's a lot of really cool trainers, which is awesome, but I feel like, you know, it's an expectation to live up to, for sure, because a lot of really cool trainers sitting right here in front of me.
We are the only two cool ones, but move on.
Oh, I'm not a part of that statement. I am exclusive.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm not a part of that statement. Dude, what are
I'm
you on
crying.
today? Why are you being
She's mentally ill. Don't listen to her.
like,
Let me have my moment.
She's like, just so you know, we're the only cool trainers. Also, fuck Barry.
No, I love Barry.
She goes, we are the only two cool trainers.
No, 3. Sorry. I fucked up.
Anyways.
I can't count.
I'm gonna
Still
say,
not a part of that
Alana's
statement.
gonna go on record and say there's a lot of really cool trainers. So
Yes.
it's just there's an expectation I feel like in my brain really to live up to, and it's hard knowing absolutely nothing when there's people around you that know a lot of something. And yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just it's kind of just approaching another environment in my life where I'm like, hey guys, help me. And also it's hard asking for help and being like, hey, how do you program an exercise regimen? How do you do
Well, it doesn't
the
necessarily
basics,
help that the person that you're trying to talk to, which is Drew, is basically like Mr. Yoda. And he does this thing where, like, he's doing this with you. Drew, our boss, which has been on the podcast before, does this thing where you ask him a question, and instead of him giving you the answer, he says, I don't know. What should you do? And
He'll
you
do
look at
what
him
makes
like,
you uncomfortable. so
if
you
I
can-
knew, I wouldn't have asked you.
Yeah.
But okay.
No, yeah.
He doesn't want to give you the answer straight up. I understand
He makes
exactly
you
what
work
you're
for it.
doing.
It's valuable. And I'm really grateful for, like, all the time people have, like, even offered me, even if I haven't taken up on it, just because that's what's been really mind-blowing, I think, is how
rest in peace to Alana interning me, because
no, that was
she saw a crazy wave of what I experienced in a
awesome.
4 hour.
It was awesome.
Yeah. But I will say, like, the statement about you saying that there's like high expectations, I don't think that anywhere that you go, I feel like you're going to have that type of experience. And like we said earlier, like, you're not ever supposed to be comfortable. Like, you're never going to be the smartest person in the room.
I think
you shouldn't be the smartest person in the room.
I just didn't know that, you know, and I feel like that's not that's not something I ever heard really growing up, honestly, where like, because you just get preached this dream of like, oh, what career do you want to do? Oh, this and that. Oh, like
you have to know what you want to do.
That you have to know what you want to do. That, you know, I never, like, you see the struggle, I feel like, in increments. Like, you see your parents stressed out. You see adults stressed out. But you never see, like, hey, like, none of our teachers was like, hey, I kind of hate my job, but I also really love you guys, and I'm passionate about this, and that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. You know, I thinking about that now, like, I've never heard an adult be like, hey, life is really hard, and I don't want to do what I want to do every day, but I'm going to do it anyways because I do love what I do. And I think just that idea of, like, you know, really stepping outside of your comfort zone, I've never really seen besides on, like, an Instagram reel. You know, that's something I really had to search for and find the answer to, because there was a time where I'd be like, okay, why do I feel like I can't do the job I need to do? And then there's like a term that's like imposter syndrome. And I'd be like, okay, podcast on imposter syndrome. You know, I have to really do a lot of research on like things I'm going through. Mm-hmm. And that's probably why therapy is beneficial if we think about it. But facts. So been there, done that. But also, I am really grateful to have the internet in that sense, where I think there's a lot of really good answers out there if you look for them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's just kind of trying to figure out where my anxieties and stuff are coming from in the first place about things, and then finding the answers, a whole nother level of you know, work. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot of different elements going on and why it's stressing me out, but there's nothing real that's happened, like, you know, a meeting I've had or a person I've interacted with. Like, everything that I've done that's like actually anywhere close to training is like the most just like enlightening experience, you know? Like, even someone being like, hey, how do you do this exercise? I'm like, ooh, let me tell you. So I have all these physical indicators that I'm really excited about it. I'm really supposed to be doing it. It feels right. This is like the time I should be doing it. But in my head, it's like a minefield of like
it's
insecurity.
Scary. So, I feel like there's a lot of pressure in being a personal trainer, period.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, yeah, and that's why
there's a lot.
I think I would kind of disagree with you, what you said earlier, Tracy. You're like, any gym, you're going to have a certain level of expectation. I mean, that's true, but I think that momentum is in terms of where we're located, which is Tallahassee. I do think that if the highest expectation is held in Momentum Fitness.
Oh yeah,
100. Like,
I'll
highest,
agree with that.
The highest level expectation is held in Momentum Fitness. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, for me, my whole thing was, it's like, okay, if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do it at the best place I can do it.
Yeah. Right.
Because I'm competitive.
Yeah.
And I want to win.
I'm in the sense of being like, don't go into a room of really boss-ass trainers at Momentum and feel like you're not worthy to be there, because like, if you have that sense, you are worthy to be there. You're smart as shit. You're talented. Like, you have the care and the passion in the world for it, and you will make sure that you deserve to be there.
Well, if you got hired, you're worthy of being there. Yeah. But I think that the insecurities are totally valid. Like,
absolutely.
You should feel there should be a certain level of insecurity, because that means you give a fuck. Yeah. That means that you actually, like, you have a sense of being like, I don't really belong here, because when you first start, you don't. Like, that's kind of what we were saying at the beginning. It's like, when I first walked into the gym, like, my freaking big-headed ass thought I knew all the shit, and I got knocked on my ass a bunch. But it was like, so, you know, you figured out different ways, but for me, it was like, I got knocked on my ass a shit ton. Yeah. And I needed to, because I didn't fucking know shit. Yeah. And I still, all the time, like, when my clients will ask me certain questions, I'm like, I don't know. I'll try to go find out for you right now. Yeah. You know, or later tonight. But I don't know the answer to that, you know? Right. Yeah. I know a lot more than I did. But, like, it's the whole bell curve of, like, the more you learn, the less you realize you know. Yeah. It's like, that's where we at. Right. Like, I'm like,
we say this all the time. We don't know shit. Yeah. I mean, we do, but you know what I'm saying.
And I promise I know what I'm talking about, but also. And I spend a lot of time, like, Tracy can tell you, like, I spend a lot of time learning. Yeah. I spend a lot of time trying to research things and continue to get certifications that I really fully believe in, that are going to help me and make me a better trainer and things like that. But I I feel that insecurity as well still all the time. So I think
it's just all these things kind of boil down to like facing a really big insecurity about something that's like those things that give you so much anxiety when you step away from a situation or when you're in a situation, and just figuring out how to solve it. Because I think I really am grateful for having all these insecurities, because I really don't think I would be trying as hard if I wasn't. And also,
absolutely.
I am in college, and for some reason I'm trying to run an ultramarathon this semester. So yeah, that's gonna be sick. But there's a lot of, I've told people, like, there's 3 pillars in my life right now. It's training for an ultramarathon, college, because I am a pre-med major and that crap is full swinging.
Are you ex-phys now?
I am ex-phys, yeah.
So you moved to ex-phys?
I moved to ex-phys like after my first semester, because that was another big thing. I literally was like researching majors. Like,
did you DM me about that? Was that?
Did I?
Was that?
Oh no, I think I asked you in person. I was like, "Hey, Abigail, what's this major like?" And you're like,
y'all talked about studying and
right
stuff.
away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I was like, "Good major, bye." I'm like really busy. If you talk to me at the gym, I'm really sorry. I was like probably because I was still in college and I was also personal training and stuff. So I was like fucking like all over the place.
I always saw. I was like, Abigail's on her shit.
Yes.
So I literally remember I was like, "Hey, Abigail, technically, what do you think about his major?" And she was like, "It's a good major, bye." I was like, "Word, thank you." That's all I need to know. And major switch submitted. And I was like, "Thanks, man."
Abigail looks like her life is together, so I will in fact be.
She knows what she's doing.
Meanwhile, they're like burning at the gym.
No, yeah. So I like,
Abigail went from 0 to 100 real quick at the gym too.
Everybody,
dude. 2 weeks after I graduated college, I had a full schedule. I was like,
"That's awesome.
Let's fucking go."
Yeah.
Let's
so I think let's freaking go. No, but I think it's just like after, and that is one thing I will say, just to have people know, like, I was not even interested in next major at all. Like, I think that's what my mom did. Like, I knew the major existed, but I was like, not stupid. And so all of college or all of high school,
I can confirm it's retarded.
No, I actually really like the major, for being honest. But no, I like all high school was researching majors because I'm in, like, I knew I wanted to go to FSU, and I was like interdisciplinary medical sciences. It's gonna be the best major ever. 3 weeks and I'm like, this crap. Stupid. This is dumb. And then I like just fell in love with like exercise, and I found myself in my free time. Again, this is before I was talking to anybody at the gym. This is before I knew anybody. I was flying under the radar AF. Literally nobody probably even knew my name. I was just like in, out, do my classes, goodbye. Internally I was loving it, and I just found myself, I think this is a big indicator for anyone who's really confused about what they want to do in life. Like, whatever you find yourself doing in your free time that has anything, not get off of TikTok, get off of Instagram.
Yeah, so not to do with social media, what you do in your free time.
Yeah. No, but it, like, I would be researching like videos about freaking nutrition of science, like science of nutrition, like science behind exercise. Like, I found little signs, like I was actually really interested in the science behind exercise, and I would be watching TED Talks about like endurance runners, and before we were even freaking running, like all these things, like in my free time it was being consumed with actual knowledge, and like I was just finding these like resources and actually being really fascinated by them. And Nyla's my twin, by the way. She would come home and she would see me like watching a little TED Talk at like 9 p.m. She'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, this is just like this interesting video I'm watching right now." I don't know. So I think that was a big indicator for me that I was like actually really interested in learning about it. And then I basically just talked to an advisor and I was like, "Hey, switch me over, biddy." And so that's a big thing. I don't know if that's something that's I'll comment on really fast. Like, if you're a person who's just really confused about what you want to do, like, just really look at where you spend your free time. As long as your free time's not TikTok, please and thank you. Because that place is
literally
stupid.
the rest of the fucking world right now.
I don't know, whatever. TikTok is fine and all, but
also me.
I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're saying, where you're saying I don't even feel like I look like a trainer, and how that relates to body image and where you struggle in that regard, because I think that's
I hate that statement. Low key.
Which one?
It's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's true though.
Is.
Like,
no, but I mean, it's something that I feel like I never struggled with I don't feel like I look like a trainer, but as far as body image goes, like I had exercise-induced anorexia for a couple of years. I didn't even fucking realize was a thing until my friend was like, "Hi, you're actually emaciated, and you did 3 workouts and you had a salad, so what's good?"
Yeah,
and
good friend.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so funny. My mom handling my how Lori Crow handles body dysmorphia and fucking disorder like anorexia. She was like, you look like shit. And she's like,
thanks, Mom.
And I was like working out 3 times a day, and she's like, you should really eat something. And I was like, all right. And she like, there was no talk about like, hey, I'm really concerned for like your health and your mental. Like how we handle stuff in our family. Seriously, how we handle stuff in our family is so just blunt. It's like, hey, you look like you're depressed, and you should really like fucking be happier. And like that's how our family. No, like that's how our family.
Submission requested. Be less depressed.
Yeah, no, like literally, that's how our family gets over stuff.
Awesome,
it's like, hey, you're not eating. Eat.
Here's a freaking.
And I'm like, Mom, that's not really how this works. She's like, that's how it works.
Get over it.
She's like, you should fix your shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, all right, word. And I did kind of. And then like you spiral and go into other things. But I struggled with body dysmorphia. I still struggle with body dysmorphia. I've had many friends that struggle with body dysmorphia.
Yeah, it's everywhere, man.
What do you? What has your experience been with that?
Well, so like I think I showed Tracy pictures of myself from like middle school, and,
with the blue hair.
First time after knowing you for like a year and a half, because homegirl was chunky. I was
blue
chunky,
hair and purple hair.
But here's the thing, I've always been like, I don't know, like there's been times
I understand.
I'm trying to like say the true thing, because I was about to say like I've never really hated myself, but I also like I have times where I'm like, wow, I hate myself.
Oh, okay.
So like it's a back and forth thing, and it's never been like, because I've always been like content. I really feel like, because I have I've had a good life from time to time.
What is this?
I'm just trying to like give you a bunch of different little background knowledge.
She's like, I don't hate myself. No, I take it back. I actually do, and also
that's what my experience has been like. Please and thank you. That's all you need to know.
Also, like, I've had a good life.
At me and having like a mid-stroke.
I like to give context, and there's a little bit of it.
She's like, so, and also I've had a good life, but only in certain points in my life have I had it that is good. Yeah. And body dysmorphia is a thing, but also like it doesn't really exist.
But also it's not real, so get over yourself.
Does that make sense, guys? Anyways, thanks for having me on. See y'all next week.
No, actually, yeah, that's all we need to talk about. No, okay, so just to actually give some things that make sense.
Start over.
Middle school, I realized I was chunky, and also in middle school, you just start to go through like hormone changes, and people start looking at themselves a little bit more, and like, oh, what's this person in the mirror? Like, you're not in elementary school anymore, and you start to just notice other people and yourself a little bit more, and that's when I was like, oh, we are different. And
I have blue hair.
I did dye my hair blue. Why is no one else's hair blue? And so, no, I think that was when I realized like I am a little bit overweight, but I also didn't like moving my body. I preferred to eat mac and cheese every day. I'm gonna tell you guys something, and it's like low-key one of those things where it's like a little bit embarrassing, but you have to just kind of say it because it's like laugh at yourself. If my parents would be like, hey Alana, why are you going back for your third plate of dinner? I'd be like, fuck you, parents. I'm hungry. So technically that's why I was overweight.
Alana would get actually mad,
and she goes, I'm hungry. I was not hungry.
I'm just seeing this. I'm just picturing this blue-haired, chunky, like ball, like this, like like a blue.
It was what that was.
Like Scully from Monsters Inc. Just
I'm hungry.
Just going back. I'm hungry.
No, literally. So like I don't know. I think there was just a lot of things where. My older sister was always super active. One of those people where people would be like, "Oh my god, are you an athlete?" And like, I just never felt that way. I never wanted to be that way.
Nobody asked me this.
Why nobody asked me why I'm just eating her
mac and cheese. That third plate of mac and cheese.
She's eating her mac and cheese. I don't understand why people aren't asking me that. Check.
That's so unfair. No, I just like y'all. At one point in middle school, I was like, I'm gonna go on a run. Where this is done. We're over it.
Word.
I made it 0.1 mile, and I was. Fuck this shit. I was crying in my neighborhood, and then a bus drove by of people from my school, and I was like, oh no. So like it's the type type of thing where I didn't want to move. I didn't feel like moving. I felt like laying in my bed when I got home.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do it. I defined myself as a quitter from ages baby to
yesterday.
I'm still fighting it.
I got back for Blue Ridge.
No, I'm serious. Like the second I didn't want to do something, I'd be like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So there was just no reason for me to. And my parents, like, they tried, man. We're just stubborn. I'm a stubborn person. So I'm going to tell you this, Abigail, because you do all that martial arts business. They took me to a Taekwondo studio when I was in seventh grade.
What the fuck?
Because this is their last attempt to say, hey, Alana, maybe we should move a little bit.
Now I'm picturing this fucking ball with blue hair just fucking doing
No, I didn't. Listen,
series,
I
bro.
didn't.
Earth.
Because when they walked me up to the front door in the lobby, I started sobbing. And I said, F you guys, F everybody in this building. I don't want to be here. I'm telling you, the instructors tried to come up and be like, hey, let's just get in here. I was like, I hate you.
Dude, you had the makings for a true... Oh, I was about to wait. I was about to say something really offensive.
No.
Hold on.
600-pound lifer.
No.
I was like, say less.
No,
please.
I was about to say something that's not politically correct. Never mind.
We'll say that after.
You said, never mind. Shut your mouth.
So that's like just if any. Sorry, that made a noise. If anybody wants to know what I was like before all of this, or post, probably like or pre like sophomore year. That's what I was like. And then sophomore year of high school, I got the flu. I lost like 15 pounds from that. Because I just really was like, oh, I'm not hungry. I was throwing up all the time. And then after that, I was like, ooh, I'm kind of skinny now.
And that's where it started. The body dysmorphia.
The eating disorder started.
That's when
literally. So I lost a bunch of weight, and then people were like, oh my God, Alana, you're a skinny bitch.
And you're like, I've been producing
Holy crap, you guys, I did it. I just literally was sick as a dog. And so that's where it started. The eating problem probably started because obviously I was not eating anything. And then I thought you get like freaking social praise for that stuff. And then you're like, oh, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, this is the way. Throwing up is the way.
Well, because people don't realize, like, you know, you're losing weight, which is like, hey, congrats, you lost weight. They don't understand. They don't understand how you lost the weight.
Yeah.
So they don't understand that they're potentially fueling something that's unhealthy because you didn't at the time know like healthy ways to lose weight and get fit.
Yeah,
you knew.
Which now when people tell me that, I'm like,
weight.
you're the love of my life, because I'm like, I'm trying, but in healthy ways.
Yeah.
Recomposition my body, and I'm like feeling good about it, and like I really do think now I'm at a mentally stable place to like experiment with that stuff because I'm not starving myself, and I eat food, and I eat chocolate and s'mores and red velvet brownies when I want to.
I will take 7 red velvet brownies.
Anyways, that's LJ business. Nobody talk about that.
That is from LJ.
But I think so. That's kind of like a rough draft. Like I was really just unhealthy before,
right?
And then when I wanted to start making changes because I liked myself a little bit better when I was 15 pounds less. I just kind of went into a different direction, and that's when I was like, oh, how to get shredded in 2 weeks. Oh, like that's the spiral of
the quick fix.
The quick fix action, which I'm sure a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
And then so for a while I struggled with like a binge eating disorder because of that. Because I would my older sister was also super into just a bunch of healthy stuff and healthy ways, and so I'd be like, oh, let me eat vegetables and do freaking smoothie shots for 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna be 15 pounds lighter. And then looking back, like I was actually really skinny. I was a lot skinnier than I thought I was because of body dysmorphia. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, so I think end of high school I was a little skinnier than I imagined myself being. But yeah, that went on for a while, but I still wasn't doing anything like actually healthy. And then it took me about 2 years to like realize I was having a big problem with food because I would like, again, try a desperate attempt to like lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, and then all those just like unhealthy BS like keto stupid things, and then I would like eat the whole kitchen cabinet when my whole family was sleeping. So it's like that went on for a while, and then again it took me a couple years to even realize something was wrong. And then I'm really grateful for just like my like brain, because I was able to like kind of research my way into like finding a way out. Like I did go to therapy like a couple times, and I've gone to therapy a couple times in my life, but I really never had to bring that up. Like for me, I just kind of realized I had a problem and just started making different decisions and trying to like, you know, I would read like blogs on people and like freaking Reddit threads about people who had binge eating disorders and, you know, how they fixed it. And I would watch a bunch of videos like, hey, how I, you know, things I did to like make this go away. And I was kind of able to remedy it myself by just making different decisions and journaling. And
you have a lot of willpower to get yourself out of sticky situations.
Yeah. Thank you. And so it's like, yeah, I think I started journaling a lot during that time, and like in my phone, whenever I would like have a really bad like binging session, I would like just write for like 15 minutes in my phone.
That's
and just
what I
kind of
do.
Dump. Yeah. So
because you get
really
an idea of like,
man.
why did I just feel the need to do that?
Yeah, and it's some of the most depressing thoughts you'll ever write down or see or read or think. But like they're really helpful to tap into because you just realize where all these things are coming from. So, yeah, over time it remedied itself, and it's still like for even after I, you know, started making healthier, more educated decisions with food, like I couldn't track anything I was eating for a while, or that would kind of relapse me. I couldn't even if I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat more protein for the next 5 days, that would give me like a bounce back episode. But I am really grateful because now like I gave myself a lot of patience and time and just freedom in food, and that's one of the biggest things. Like if you just kind of can figure out how to let go and like, you know, just eat till you're full, stop when you're done. It's a hard task whenever you deal with something like that, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Now I am able to, you know, log how much protein I'm getting in MyFitnessPal, believe it or not, you know, and that's something I'm really grateful for because now I've been able to, you know, be a little bit more in tune with, you know, my energy levels and, you know, just the way that all of it affects me, you know, from an athletic performance perspective, which is nice. But yeah, that's kind of like a little summary, I would say, of all
That's
that.
interesting.
It was a long few years.
It's an interesting side note. The way that you were when your parents tried to take you to Taekwondo
Oh my God.
was like what I did when my parents tried to take me to therapy. I sat in the office for approximately 20 minutes and I was like, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
How do I get the fuck out of here?
No.
And
Hello and goodbye.
Yep.
I was like, I was one of those kids that would be like super nice to the people I was speaking to, and then I'd go to my parents and I'd be like, I'll literally fucking ruin your life.
Because literally,
And so I would be like, thank you so much for the session, sir. And I walked out and immediately started bawling, and I was so angry, and I was like punching the car. It's so funny because the windows were clear, so like the therapist saw me go outside and be like, thank you, sir, and then be like silently just like talking about like going in on your parents, just going insane. Me literally making my parents' lives actual hell outside, and the therapist was like, so do we need to Baker Act her? Or
no, I swear to God, probably need to be Baker Act.
So anyways, like I was young.
I'm so not surprised though.
But I do. Back to the body dysmorphia thing, and the binge eating thing. I really relate to that because that's something that I have also struggled with. And I found that my binge eating is very heavily linked to my anxiety. And it's this, like, I will get very anxious and I will lose confidence. And then because I get really anxious and I'll have a really rough day and I'll be a little bit down in confidence, I will then eat a lot of food, and then you'll eat a lot of food, and which will make you more anxious and more down. And it becomes this positive feedback loop of like bullshit.
It's textbook, but it's not.
Yeah, so you have to like literally journal your way out of it, go on a walk. Like you have to understand where it's coming from.
It takes a long time to figure out.
It's a lot of awareness. Like it's just a lot of being. I think that my fix for that has been very heavily linked to like jujitsu and meditation and yoga and just being aware. Like journaling, all of those things that I did a while ago helped me understand it's like what the fuck's going on now. And then also realizing that whatever my body looks like, I don't think that to this day I know what my body looks like. I legitimately don't think I know what my body looks like because I every day it looks vastly different.
Yeah.
Like I will wake up and I'll be like,
I agree with that.
You are snatched, girl. What, trainer.
Looking like a freaking
like you trainer, the trainer Abigail. And then sexy Roblox. And then the next day I'm like, you are a fat Lego. And
Don't say the fucking Lego beard.
Dude, Dude, oh god. You're
gonna send me into another fucking dimension.
Sorry,
bro.
inside joke, guys. But yeah, I'll be like, you were a fat Lego, and you need to
starve yourself for 14 days.
Yeah, you need to never eat a piece of food again. And so I think I legitimately do not know what I look like.
That's such a real statement.
Like whatever
honestly.
the fuck you guys see, whatever the fuck everyone else sees.
I don't know what y'all see.
And so
Same.
I'm kind of getting into this place in my life where
you have to stop caring.
Body dysmorphia, by the way, does not like end. It's an ongoing thing for anybody listening to this. And so it got to the point where it's getting to the point where I don't think I'll ever not care because
it's easy to not care about what other people think of you, but it's very hard to not care about what you think about
I was gonna
yourself.
say, I don't think I'll ever not care. I think it will be an awareness that it's like, I know that I give a shit about this, but also I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to embrace the fact that it's like, I personally think I look like shit today, but I have no idea actually what I look like. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up and just go about my day because whatever the fuck I'm looking at is not real. Like whatever's going on in my own conscious brain does not exist. So I'm just gonna chill out. And like when people start getting concerned for me, when people start getting concerned for me and they start coming up and telling me I look like a fat Lego, then I will start.
My mom says, Abigail, you're obese.
Yes.
That's not taking it serious.
Yes, actually, no, Lori Crow, keeping it real.
You have accountability partners, don't worry.
She doesn't say obese, she's like, you look fluffy.
No,
she'll say some shit like that and you'll be like, okay.
My mom would come up to me and she'd just be like, darling, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, what do you mean, what are we doing?
We're
And
having
she's
this
gonna be like,
conversation.
gear down. She'll be like, what are you eating?
Hold on, I need to sit down for this.
No, but like real facts though, that's so fucking true. But also like it's kind of like I said it was a sad comment to say because like all of us, I mean like we're all beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks that like you have to think that like trainers uphold a standard.
My body dysmorphia is like
trying to fight
but
you.
like it sucks that like you think you have to like uphold a standard to look a certain way to be a trainer because like everybody we literally just said this when we were at the cabin this past weekend. Everybody, like not everybody, everybody fluctuates, right? Like people get bloated, people shit their brains out and lose a couple pounds. I literally gained 5 to 7 pounds in a day. And we were just talking about it. We're like, how do people not get bloated? It's not me. I know.
That was me. Sorry.
We're like, how are there these bitches out there that like don't get bloated?
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about it and like even just talking about that is kind of like shitting on ourselves because like I feel like I hold on to a lot of weight like when I'm stressed and I also have fucking IBS like crazy.
And that's the thing though because I'm gonna look at you and say like
bloated.
I've never even noticed a weight fluctuation in your body.
I'm like
ever.
I feel
So
like
it's
shit. But that's the thing though, like it's so true. Like you will always feel that in yourself, but no one else sees that. Like you're your own worst critic. It's so easy. Like listen, I could run around fucking in a chicken suit. I don't give a goddamn what anybody thinks of me. I really don't. But I give a fuck about what I think about myself.
You're up in your head all day and it's just hard to kind of
it's really
so like you do look like a trainer. You will look like a trainer. You will make yourself look like a trainer.
That's what I'm saying. And so it's like I think it's just trust. Barry says this all the time, but like trusting the process. Like you got to learn from people who know actually what's up, people who know what you need to be doing, how much protein you need to be eating, how much time you need to be lifting a week, running a week.
And I think it's very important, like just the complex of surrounding yourself with people that are going to better you for good and for worse. Like I would consider us the type of people that like if somebody was off their shit, one of you guys would tell me if it was good, if it was bad. I really, really like I appreciate that so much. And I always tell people to surround themselves with good people, but surrounding yourself with good people is people that are going to tell you when it's right and when it's wrong. Surrounding yourself with people that are consistently positive all the time is really not good people.
No,
because the bad stuff is shit that you have to call people out on, and you guys would do that, you know? So you have to put yourself in a position to be able to learn from people that are going to keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying?
That's literally like one of my number one goals in life. I tell it to like my family all the time, people like friends all the time, like, hey guys, like I'm here, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like I've had some pretty serious conversations with friends. Like I'll get to the nitty gritty with you. I will. Like I'm gonna call you out on your stuff if you're making me feel a certain way, hopefully in the most loving way possible. But I always frame the conversations. Hey, I'm telling you this because I love you and because I want you to be able to look me in the face and tell me what's up if I ever am off my wagon. You know, like I want to know if I'm somewhere that you don't think I need to be.
Yeah.
And that can be a, subjective thing. Sometimes I might disagree with it, but like, I want people to look me in the face and be like, hey, Alana, this is not where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's surrounding yourself with people who will keep you accountable, keep you, pushing. And that's subjective too. Like, you don't, like, everyone's goals are different. And that's why, like, Flocker is so good for me, because that's just what I love to do. Weirdly enough,
Alana's going to be a future Flocker coach. We're speaking it into existence.
First, folks. Yeah, no, I don't know. That's like, again, it's a bigger picture thing for me. I really I would love to podium at first race of the year, but I'm just also like, if not, that just means I have some more learning to do, more work to do, and I'm fine with that. So it's just a lot of like putting yourself in uncomfortable situations because you have to make any sort of progress, and pushing past thoughts that like really just are screaming at you and making you feel like shit. Like, those are the thoughts that you should be aware of and be in tune with to figure out where they're coming from. Because also, like, the unfortunate truth is, I probably for a long time like was telling myself the truth. I probably looked like shit and I probably needed to hear it, but I was lazy as crap, so I wasn't going to do anything about it. So it's finding the sweet spot between like the truth you're telling yourself and also like the lies you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
And like life's complicated, but it's like, it's worth gearing down and trying to figure out. You just gotta be making changes and making steps. It's like, I realized recently, this is a really recent like thought I've kind of come to terms with. It's like, it has to be out of a place of love. It can't be out of a place of like, I hate my body, so I'm going on a cleanse for 2 weeks. Like, it has to be out of like hey, like, I deserve to own a result. I deserve to find change. I deserve to see myself love myself. I deserve that, and I maybe don't right now, but I have to start making changes. And that's why people are so important, because there's no world.
The fucking camera died again
within like 5 minutes.
It's annoying.
Whatever, we're wrapping it up.
No, go. That was great. That was good.
I think it's really and that's why people are just so important, because I would not have had any of these results, any of this progress by myself. I wouldn't have. And that's why it's like, I almost like, and when training, I almost want to be like, just come join the team. Like, don't waste your time with me. Like, just come join us. Like, because it's like, it's just having people that are going to make things fun and hold you accountable.
But you're gonna be that person for other people.
And that's why I want to, because again, things are different. People need different goals. Not everyone wants to go run a Spartan race. So whatever, you're a loser, it's fine. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Hey, but really, what up?
Yeah. No, but it's like, people are crazy and people will change the game for you.
But I do like, I said this earlier, but I do really admire the way that I feel like you have a lot of willpower to get yourself out of the place that you're in, and that's very hard for people. And like, you're very young, and that's like a very huge thing to have at the age that you're at. And so like, I really admire that about you. And Jacksonville, which is coming up in literally like 2.5 weeks, is gonna be like full circle.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be full. So it's been like really awesome to watch you grow. Like,
from Jacksonville, and I'm a little bit mad about it, because I'm like, I just feel like that would be like crazy to see.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting race for you too, Trass, because that race this time last year was really rough for you.
Yo, and this is what I'm saying. Tracy was pissed after Jacksonville.
Yeah. Rightly so.
Yeah,
she should have been
that
pissed.
race is annoying, but it's fun.
Yeah, rightly so.
Yeah,
I was fucking pissed.
Yeah, she should have been pissed, but it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I told, again, to kind of circle back to what I was saying earlier, like, Barry wanted to have me write down like a bunch of individual goals, like podium at this race, run this pace. I just want to show the frick up for all these races, because I don't even know what I'm capable of right now, honestly, like, as far as on the course goes, because I've been putting in work for like I put in work this year that I didn't last year, so it'll be, I just want to show up and like really try to channel some whatever competitive type of spirit I have.
Dude, you will. I'm telling you, you're getting into it. This year's gonna be a good year for you. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, Lauren, man. I'm excited for you to grow as a trainer. I'm excited to see you as an OCR athlete.
Yeah.
I'm continue to grow.
We're stoked for you, for real.
And X-Phys.
Yeah.
Good luck with that major. I'm so glad I'm done with that shit, bro.
Abigail was like, good major, bye. I was like, 10-4.
Oh, yeah. I meant to ask you before we go, what was your first, you talked about kind of your first impression of Trass and like how she was
crazy
kind of on crack and like intimidating and stuff. What was your first impression
with
of me?
Abigail? Okay, listen, no, Abigail, like, I could just tell from day, I really admired you guys, like, even if, like, again, I don't take things personally pretty much ever. Like,
keep talking.
Not ever, but I don't take things personally in the sense where it's like, dude, you have the ability to look at someone and be like, good major, goodbye.
Yeah.
And like just move on. Like, I don't know. I really admire people's ability to just be themselves. And so, and I don't take things personally like much. So yeah, I think whenever I kind of started like being around you a little bit more, I really was just like, dang, this girl on her shit. Like, she got things to do. Like, she is on it, man. Like, and I just like, I didn't want to be the person that was like, oh my god, hey Abigail, what's going on? Like, I could just, and I really will be that person for like a lot of people. Be like, oh my god, Lily, how are you today? Like, you know, I could just tell you we're like different in the sense where it's like that's not how you communicate with people. No. I really was just like, that's not gonna work with her. So I was just like, I'm gonna give her a minute, kind of slip a little bit of like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, good morning.
Yeah,
what's up, girl?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really just kind of, I really respected you in the sense where I was like, okay, she's on her game.
Oh, thank you, man.
She knows
yeah,
what the
no,
frick she's doing
I'm not a hey, how are you kind of girl. I'm like a, oh, cut off again. That's okay.
Abigail will be like, what are you asking?
Well, yeah, like,
I'm having a question.
Hey, how are you? And I'm like, no, seriously, stop. No. What do you want? Like,
why?
When for me, I don't mean for, that's such a bitch. No. I don't ever mean for it to be rude. I mean for it to be like, I have a limited amount of time to help you. Like, let me help you as like, efficiently as I can. Like, so instead of being like, because I'm like, you don't give a fuck how I am. Like, hey, how are you? I'm like, you don't care. I don't care.
Actually care.
Like, what do you need? Like,
what do you want from me?
What do you need so I can help you with it?
Let me know.
And that's why when you were like, oh, what's about this major? And I was like, okay, I think, like, are you trying to go to med school?
Yeah,
are you trying to be a trainer?
The second time I asked, because I think I was like, hey, like, I don't even know what the second ask. Like, I remember I like asked you once about the major, and the second time I asked you like a more specific question, and I could tell you really cared because you sat there and like scribbled out some like notes for me and teachers to get and classes to not take together. So that's when I was like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. She cares. She just
I literally have no recollection of even doing that. Yeah. So I'm like,
no, I don't even remember what you wrote down honestly, but no, you like.
He's like, I know it's wildly unhelpful.
I don't even have a favorite help. No, I think I have a picture of it somewhere because I was like, hey, thank you.
Oh my god.
No, but I don't know. I respected you a lot and kind of was just like, she's on her shit out here. She'd be a good person to learn from. Let me just not annoy the fuck out of her by asking her to do it.
That's funny. That's awesome.
So, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, I feel weird because I'm so young, but you are somehow younger than me.
Same.
I feel like I feel like I'm kind of looking at myself a little bit a few years ago. Honestly, you're probably way more put together even than I was a few years ago. Man. But like, I feel like I'm looking at like a little better version of Abigail. Yeah. So it's so it's really cool because I'm sitting here interviewing you and I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like I can't wait because I can't wait to see.
I love talking to myself.
No, you 3 years from now, you 3 years from now, just to see how much farther you're going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because I remember where I was when I was 19 or 19 and just like how hungry I was for it. And seeing you in the place where you start now, you're 19, I was 19 when I started personal training. Cool. And just how hungry you are for it and how like I remember how nervous I felt, how stressed I was. I remember the same feeling you're feeling right now. And it's just going to be really cool to see where you are when you're 22, 23. To look back and be like, oh my god, just it comes full circle.
Like, I also did know like that you'd be a really good person to learn from because I didn't want to be like, oh my god, I think the same way about life and that's crazy. But I do see a lot of parallels, and so that's where I was like, I think she'd be a good person to just ask about this stuff and kind of get some insight because I did switch my major, to the same major you had, and I heard through the grapevine that you had the same major, and then also, you're a personal trainer. I was curious about it, so I am really grateful, like, to have landed in the spot that I am in, because even though I, started at the front desk at Momentum, which, again, that was another thing where I just kind of did, like, I don't even remember when or why I asked Barry, be like, hey, Barry, any jobs available at the front desk? And he was like, yeah, here's paperwork. I was like, okay, cool. That's how that goes.
Like one day I just showed up and Alana was behind the front desk. I was like, lit.
No, like
cool.
Again, some of these things just kind of happen because I just, again, I
you were interested in it
a little bit more on internal navigators, being like, I'm curious about if I could do that. Even the front desk to me was like an intimidating thing to ask for and to like throw my name in the pot for. But it just all kind of slowly started, and I'm really just grateful to have the people I do, and then to just kind of. I don't know. That really is what it boils down to. I think it's just stick your neck out there, make yourself nervous, find people. They're out there, man. Like, if you have a thing you're interested in, apply for a job. But you just don't be annoying, man. Don't be annoying.
Just go do it.
Don't be afraid to be a beginner.
Yeah.
Like, that's the beautiful thing about you is that you are maybe you are afraid to be a beginner, but despite your fear, you are a beginner.
I think
anyways.
there's a lot of power. I'm listening to David Goggins' audiobook right now.
Dude,
Oh my
that
God.
shit had me on crack for like 2 months. Don't do
I'm gonna
it.
be like running 100 mile tomorrow, you guys. No, I'm kidding. There's a
Insert
lot of
the clip from this weekend.
Goggins here.
I'll fill in the negative space with you running down
like,
the fucking.
It's seriously like that guy's literally like on crack cocaine. He's not, but like he's crazy.
Oh, he
but
totally is.
It's also a really powerful message to listen to. Just being like, listen, you don't have to let these things stop you. Like if you want something, like get out of your head, dude. Like that's all it takes. Or get in your head, figure out those.
Well,
thoughts.
that's the
like,
thing. Yeah, that's
dig
the main
into
thing,
it.
is
Like
dig
why
into
am I?
it
Why
and
do
do
I
it.
think that this is my limit? Why do I think I can't show up and show out? Like why do I think you know maybe the fact that I don't even look like a trainer is going to stop me from actually being one? That's not what matters, you know. Because like Tracy said, it's sad that people are out there like, oh my god, you know, maybe I want to get my personal trainer certification, but I don't think I even could look like a trainer. Like no one would ask me in Publix if I was a personal trainer. Like why would I even want to do that? Who cares, man? Like if that's what you want and that's what you want to throw yourself at it, you know. You just, again, imposter syndrome will happen if you get ahead of yourself, and I feel like I did and I do, but I would rather be that way and kind of like ahead of myself than sitting there twiddling my thumbs and not having enough to do.
Yeah, you don't want to be the king of the dungeon, man.
Yeah,
like,
don't do it.
I'd rather be
It's too much.
I'd rather be the fucking servant in the castle, bro.
Yeah, you'd rather be
you know?
doing the dirty work and learning more about what you want to do and learning about yourself in the process.
That's where I feel like a lot of the magic happens too, because you just you know what happens from every level of the place. So I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I'm
Thank
excited
you,
for
Alana,
you.
for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this year, and I'm really proud of you.
Thanks, guys.
It's been really awesome to
you
watch
guys
you grow.
are awesome.
You're awesome.
Jinx!
All right, bar talk people. Question before we head out. Have you tried hitting the quan?
If you're ever depressed,
literally
just
try
hit the
hitting one.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
That's awesome.